Welcome to Season 2 of Red Sox Digest, the only show where pain, sarcasm, and false hope collide nightly, like a Masataka Yoshida ground out to second. We break down every loss, every meltdown, and the occasional win, with sarcasm, facts, and no front office spin. Subscribe today at RedSoxDigest.com, or keep wondering how a wildcard team spent an entire offseason avoiding power hitters. And now, here's the crew at Red Sox Digest.
Good evening, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of Red Sox Digest. I am your host tonight, Jim Delfino, and what a week it has been for me, your host. On Sunday, I suggested that trading Connolly early for Curtis Mead might not be the masterstroke everyone was declaring it to be. And Red Sox social media reacted like I had walked into Fenway, urinated on a Ted Williams statue, and announced that Derek Jeter was better. You don't know Curtis Mead. He's breaking out. You're just trying to be negative. Then Mead played one game, got hit on the wrist, fractured it, ended on the injured list. Shut up. One game. The man's Red Sox career lasted as long as a complimentary appetizer at John's table. I didn't even have time to learn his uniform number before his wrist was being packed in bubble wrap and shipped to Massachusetts General. I'm not celebrating the injury. No one wants the kid hurt. But I am celebrating the fact that apparently my medical degree still carries slightly more diagnostic value than a Twitter account featuring an AIM avatar and 6 followers. Joining me tonight is Nick Face. Nick has spent the last 4 days arguing with every Red Sox fan who disagrees with him, including 3 burner accounts, a weather bot, and someone whose profile picture is a golden retriever. Nick doesn't participate in baseball discussions. He enters them like Mariano Rivera entering the 9th inning, except instead of Enter Sandman, you hear the sound of a keyboard begging for mercy. Also joining me tonight is John Martinello. John watched Curtis Mead get a hit and immediately yelled, maybe this is actually good because now Breslow has roster flexibility. John could watch the Titanic sink and praise the captain for creating additional swimming opportunities. The Red Sox could trade Marcelo Mayer for a broken pitching machine, and John would tell us that the machine has interesting underlying metrics. And finally, joining us tonight is Thayer Doyle. Thayer is our educator, our voice of reason, and the only Irishman alive who can calmly explain proper cutoff positioning while looking like he is 5 seconds away from flipping a classroom desk over. Thayer watched the Red Sox strand 13 runners Wednesday night and began diagramming fundamental base running on a whiteboard while the rest of us were trying to locate the nearest liquor cabinet. Let's get into it. Your Boston Red Sox are now 56-51 and 7.5 games behind first place Tampa Bay Rays. They're also 4.5 games out of the final wild card spot, meaning they're as close enough to make us believe, but far enough away to still ruin Labor Day. Since Sunday's show, the Red Sox have taken 2 of the first 3 games against those Athletics. They won Monday 4-2, lost Tuesday 4-3, and won Wednesday 4-2 in 10 innings. Tonight's series finale has not started yet because Major League Baseball apparently believes East Coast fans should experience every West Coast game in the same mental condition as an overnight truck driver. Wednesday's hero was Andrew Monasterio, who blasted a 2-run homer in the 10th after Boston spent several innings leaving runners on base like abandoned shopping carts. The Red Sox stranded 13 runners, but Monasterio finally said enough of this and hit the ball approximately into Nevada. Patrick Sandoval gave them 5 innings with 7 strikeouts, allowing 2 solar homers. Aroldis Chapman escaped trouble in the 9th during his 900th career appearance, and Greg Weissert recorded his first save of the season. Because nothing says well-designed bullpen like discovering your closer at 1:30 in the morning. Now, on to the news. First, Curtis Mead has a fractured left wrist. The Red Sox activated him Monday. By Wednesday, he was on the injured list, and Nick Sogard was recalled. That's not a transaction timeline. That is a hospital intake form. Again, I hope Mead heals quickly, but can we temporarily retire the phrase breakout season? The only thing that broke out was an orthopedic equipment. Question, are the people who ridiculed me issuing me formal apologies, or have they suddenly become constitutional scholars arguing that we can't technically know what the word injury means? Second, the Red Sox are still shopping for a shortstop. Reported targets include Zach Neto, C.J. Abrams, Jeremy Peña, and Otto Lopez. Apparently, acquiring one injured infielder did not fully satisfy Boston's annual requirement to collect every player capable of standing somewhere between second and third base. Abrams has 27 home runs, 82 RBIs, and a 931 OPS along with 19 stolen bases. He also has 9 home runs and an 1100 OPS in July. In other words, he would cost actual premium prospects, not 3 Rule 5 guys, a coupon to legal seafoods, and Breslow's sincere appreciation. My question to the listeners, would you surrender real prospect capital for Abrams, or are you still trying to convince us that Chi Chang just needs 1,400 more plate appearances? And third, Zach Neto may be available, but the price would be painful. The Angels are listening, but Neto is 25 and controlled beyond the season, so they're not going to hand him over because Craig Breslow asked politely and includes a fruit basket. This is where the early Mead trade matters. You already spent a young starting pitcher, and now you still need an infielder. That's like selling your snowblower to buy a shovel, breaking that shovel on the first snowfall, and then financing another snowblower. Question to the listeners. How much would you give up for Neto before the teacher in you writes poor asset management across Breslow's report card? Fourth, Boston has reportedly checked in on Jeremy Peña. There is just one tiny problem. Houston considers itself a buyer. So the Red Sox are apparently trying to buy a shortstop from another team trying to make the playoffs. Sure. And tomorrow I'm calling the Yankees to see whether they'll donate Aaron Judge as a part of a community outreach initiative. Fifth, the deadline is Monday at 6 p.m. The Red Sox have 4 days to decide what they actually are. Are they legitimate buyers? Are they cautious buyers? Are they monitoring the market? Because whenever I hear Boston is monitoring something, I picture Breslow sitting in a dark room watching MLB Network with binoculars. This team is above 500. It just won 15 straight earlier this month. It has fought through major injuries and dragged itself back into relevance. But relevance is not the goal. Nobody hangs a banner reading 2026, we remain mathematically interesting. So here's a question for you folks with the home game version of this show. Do you spend aggressively because the players earned it, or do you protect the farm because this roster still looks like it was assembled during a fire drill? Because making one questionable trade and then refusing to finish the job would be the most Red Sox outcome imaginable. That would be like ordering the engagement ring, renting the hall, inviting the guests, and then refusing to buy pants because you worried about long-term payroll flexibility. That's it. I'm done. It's time for Nick and the word of the day.
And now it's time for Nick Face's Word of the Day.
Exhausted. Thank you, Major League Baseball, for this week from hell for all of us. I think it's the first time in a while where I woke up and I was just aggravated and mad, even though the Red Sox woke me up with a pleasantly surprising report of a 4-2 win in extra innings last night. I couldn't take it anymore after 12:30. I'm like, I have a long day ahead. I got to go to bed. It has been a struggle. I think that's the main word. Yes, you do need to get your morning coffee or tea at Empower. Definitely, Woburn or Reading. It has been a struggle this week for the Red Sox in Sacramento. I don't know what's in the air out there, but it's
garbage,
ridiculous on what we've been watching. They're lucky, I have to say, guys, that they have taken 2 out of 3 games from the A's. Very, very lucky. It could very well be 3 games that the A's took from you. So if we dial it back to Monday's game, I thought Jake Bennett threw fine. I didn't have any issues from that. Or was Peyton Tolley Monday? I forget. Was Peyton Tolley Monday?
Tolley.
See?
Yep.
See what happens when you have to deal with these late nights? You lose your mind. You lose it. And we still have to do tonight, Friday night, Saturday night, and then it's another 7. I mean, it's reasonable for LA for 7:20 game. But, I mean, we're going to be dog tired come Sunday night. But I thought Peyton Tolley threw okay. I don't think it was his best stuff by any means on Monday. He did give up the home runs, so that's something that I'm a little bit concerned with on that front. I thought Jake Bennett was perfectly fine on Tuesday. I think he was just no run support. You know, it was a little bit too late after the 9th inning came with the comeback. And then last night, Patrick Sandoval was fine. Just fine. You want to throw him against the Dodgers? Good luck. Good luck on that one. Because I think all of our remote controls will be broken during that start. But he escaped. I guess that's the biggest thing right here. The bullpen continues to be doing a solid job. Can't complain on that front. It's just this offense. I think one of the big surprising things that we're getting, it's kind of like a give and take. Andrew Monasterio at shortstop is going to not be steady with the glove, but for some odd reason, the guy's just been playing out of his mind for the month of July. So he's been your big producer. He got the big hit last night and got the home run to lead to the victory. I just don't know how long that's sustainable for. We're getting very lucky with that production, and I just don't think it's going to last. I made a kind of a joke in our group chat today. I go, that's basically the production that was Romy Gonzalez from last year, what you're getting right now. There's another name that we can throw out there. What in the living hell is going on with Romy Gonzalez? And I don't know if we got any reports after the game last night, but I thought it was an FU to the fan base from Chad Tracy that we didn't see Tony Seagulls, that's Anthony Sigler, pinch hit for Romy 2 opportunities. He was the last guy standing on the bench, but I would have taken that opportunity because Romy Gonzalez is about as lost as you can get right now at the plate. The guy's timing is completely off. He was rushed up here to help be the Lord and Savior of the Red Sox. And right now they're running into we really shouldn't be playing Romy Gonzalez because it's going to cost you ball games kind of guy right now. He is just not ready. Not ready. And I worry, guys, that he could be playing injured, and that injury could lead to a disaster down the road. That's the other thing I look at, especially back and everything with him. You don't want to see something go wrong even worse with Romy, but I'm not holding out much hope that he's going to make it through the rest of the season. I think he's brittle-boned. Looking ahead to tonight, you've got Sonny Gray. This is an anticipating start for him, and I'm saying that because it was his worst start that we saw his last time out. What Sonny Gray are we going to see here tonight? Are we going to see the tired Sonny Gray that we saw last time out or the first half guy? That's going to be the big question that we'll see. And I think what you do know with Sonny Gray is that if something's off, you're going to notice it right away. And I think we'll be able to know around 10 o'clock-ish time what version of Sonny Gray we're going to get here tonight. So I need a first half Sonny Gray style start. We said on Sunday's show before the series began, I went for the sweep because I was feeling the need for greed. You need to take 3 out of 4 from the A's. If they don't, I am going to be very upset leading into a Dodgers series. That's not going to be pretty if you only take 2 and split. Will the offense show up tonight? That's the other main question that's there. Me personally, I think we're going to see the deja vu status quo of what it's been because this is who they are, folks. What you see is what you get. You're not going to get a lot of anything with this offense. If you get something, it's likely going to be from a little bit of luck or from the air quality in Sacramento. I just don't expect to see anything change here between your average of 2 or 3 runs a game in this series. So we just need to see Sonny Gray pitch well, and hopefully we can get out of Sacramento with 3 wins and then take that short flight to LA. I don't know if it's a short flight. I'm just hopefully thinking that. And get things started over with the Dodgers. Then we'll preview that a little bit later. I don't want to give my scores and thoughts on that series just yet. But overall, we need to take care of business here tonight. This is the business affair tonight.
Yeah, a couple good things there. Number one, it's the bigger question is that who are these Red Sox? Are they the guy? Are they the team from the last 20 games, or are they 25 games, or are they the first 75 games? Because if they're not going to score the runs, they're not going to get very far, and you're starting to see that against a wretched A's team at any event. And as far as the Dodgers are concerned, this weekend they got to hope they don't have to face Tarek Skubal, because that's probably going to happen. Nick's Word of the Day is brought to you by the Red Sox Twitter medical degree. Did you once play Division III baseball? Did you foul a curveball at Western Connecticut State in 2004? Congratulations, you now are apparently more qualified to diagnose injuries than an actual doctor. Introducing the Red Sox medical Twitter degree. Printed instantly from your home computer and personally authenticated by a guy whose profile picture is himself wearing sunglasses inside a dump truck. With your new degree, you can confidently tell Jim you don't understand baseball injuries. He's completely healthy. You're just being negative. And of course, I played college ball, so I know the human body. Then, when the player gets injured almost immediately, simply activate the diploma's patented delete tweet technology, disappear for 48 hours, and return pretending the conversation never happened. The Red Sox Twitter medical degree, because 4 years of college baseball apparently beats decades of medical training right up until Jim is proven correct. Now it's time for the Martinello Minute.
And now the part they don't want said out loud. No spreadsheets or corporate spin, just the truth, raw and impatient. This is the Martinello Minute.
Jim, I think that Red Sox, that little saying you just did there was targeted towards somebody. Can't confirm that though, but seems like that was targeted towards somebody that you've had a recent interaction with. But speaking of the Curtis Mead injury, so he broke his wrist. Jim, obviously, I'm shocked at how badly people went after you for this, because all you really just said was X-rays immediately don't really show the full picture, and we saw firsthand what that sounds like from an actual organization that has a real medical staff from the Athletics this morning or last night with the Nick Kurtz injury. Same thing. And they said X-rays are unclear at this point, where the Red Sox said, oh, we dodged a bullet. But nonetheless, Curtis Mead, he had a fracture on the same wrist back in 2023. It was when he was in AAA. Took him 62 days to return to action. From the time of the injury, 62 days from then would be September 28th, which is one day after the regular season concludes. So, we got a 6 to 8 week time frame on this. It doesn't require surgery, which is good news. So I think that the 6 weeks time frame was somewhere around like September 6th, and then obviously the 8 weeks goes out towards the end of September. So maybe not. We see Curtis Mead suit up in a Red Sox uniform during the rest of the season. Beyond that, we just got news about an hour ago or so that Roman Anthony's starting to swing the bat. He's taken 30 swings each of the last 2 days.
Oh. Real ones or dry swings?
Bravo.
Off the tee. Off the
way
tee.
to go,
so
champ.
we're beyond the Tristan Casas
loser
dry hacks, which is good news. But what was it? Chad Tracy, he had some words on it earlier today to Christopher Smith. He said that there's no clear steps yet. He just started doing it yesterday. And that there's going to be, it's going to be a little bit of just trial and error, swinging off the tee until they see how, just responding to see how he feels off that. If it continues to go well, then they're going to start talking about building out a progression, rehab assignment, things like that. Tracy didn't say or not say that Roman felt any discomfort after taking swings last couple of days. So more news to unfold on that front, but good to see that he's swinging the bat again. Obviously this Red Sox team, if you've been watching the games the last couple of nights, they need another bat in this lineup. But yeah, so Nick talked about Andrew Monasterio. This guy stinks at defense. He's not a shortstop at all. It is not fun watching that dude field ground balls. It's almost like Trevor's story last year in that August and September, where if he had to go make a nice play, he got it done. But those balls that were just routine right at him, and every single throw that he made, you just had you held your breath, you you clenched your wrist, like you were just nervous, and that's kind of just what it's like watching Andrew Monasterio play shortstop. But on the bright side, since July 1st, this guy has an 1118 OPS, tearing the cover off the baseball.
Yes.
It's really great to see. He's a 357 batting average, a 439 on base. He's 11 extra base hits, and for the nerds out there, it's a 203 WRC plus. I know that Jim last show said he doesn't know what that means. I can't give you a definition off the top of my head. I just know that 100 is about league average there.
OPS plus was league average too. 100 OPS
WRC plus. I don't even know. Yeah, I know it's a really good number.
What about LMNOP? Anybody know that one?
I couldn't tell you that one either. Listen, looking at the at the trade that got Caleb Durbin, Andrew Monasterio, Anthony Siegler here.
Just a second. Can anybody actually say the alphabet without singing the song? Is it possible?
It's not possible.
QRSTV, WXYZ. Join us next for the new edition of Sesame Street coming up next over most of these local stations.
Gray.
But at this point of the season, we talked about after this trade was done, kind of who's going to win it, who's going to lose it. The Brewers, between Kyle Harrison and Shane Drohan this year, have accumulated 3.4 WAR. The Red Sox, between Durbin, Monasterio, and Anthony Siegler, they've accumulated 4.2 WAR. So for the guys that like that stat, that number, Red Sox are technically winning that trade. So I'll leave that how it is. And then Nick, you also brought up Romy Gonzalez. He obviously didn't have a spring training. He didn't really have much of a rehab assignment. It was just 18 at bats down in Worcester, and I think he had one in Portland as well, a game down there. His first 8 games back with the Red Sox, he hit 310. It was an 892 OPS. Things were looking great right out the gate. 11 games since then, he's hit 083. He has 12 strikeouts and a 314 OPS. Obviously, this guy's just not. I don't want to crap on him too much just because I do like the player. But obviously, he gave us a ton last year. And Nick, you made a great point. Andrew Monasterio's giving you what he gave you last year right now. So I don't think that Romy's a guy that you necessarily need in the lineup every single night. I haven't checked what the lineup is for tonight, so I don't know if he's playing or not. But he's obviously going through it right now. I don't need to see him every day. And then to finish things up, Jumaane Jones. We're talking about guys that aren't on the team this year that were impactful bats last year. The guy's 5 for 13 with the Red Sox, 2 home runs, 2 doubles. He's 5 for 11 against left-handed pitchers, which he came here to do. He's leading off games for you. He's producing. He's giving you quality at bats. He hasn't been tested too much in left field yet, but I mean, for a guy that cost you a player to be named later, and that came to the Red Sox hitting 155 on the year, nothing to complain about. So big fan of
his so Rob Refsnyder is actually that person. That's just the Jumaane Jones costume that's on, just so we
exactly. I tweeted it yesterday. I said it's Rob Refsnyder in the aggregate.
It is.
So, but yeah, no. So yeah, Red Sox 2-1 right now against the Athletics. Obviously, the series finale is coming up in 15 minutes or so. But Peyton Tolley, he had a good start. Obviously, got roughed up at the end of it. Probably got extended a little bit too much. Jake Bennett, he had a great start in my opinion. Just missed, last pitch of his outing. He missed it right over the top of the zone. I think he got extended as well a little bit too much. His velocity between the 5th and 6th innings started dipping, and then it just crashed in the 7th. But, you miss a 2-0. I think it was a 2-0. Maybe it was a 1-0 count. You miss a 1-0 fastball at 91 miles an hour over the middle of the plate. Pretty much everyone that's a Major League Baseball player is going to do damage on you. So that's just unfortunate. But overall, I thought he pitched great. And then Patrick Sandoval, who Nick can't talk enough about, he had a pretty good start yesterday. Listen, I said it last
Revelation.
time. The velocity's there, just like how it was earlier in his career before the Tommy John surgery. Obviously, anybody coming back from a surgery like that isn't going to have the commands, but he kind of it looks like he's starting to put the pieces back together. And for a Red Sox team that's thin on pitching right now because of injury, I think he has a 3.32 ERA. He's done his job. That he's done it well, and I don't think anybody here has anything too much to complain about outside of just a little bit of damage that guys aren't scoring on. So I hate his last name.
Just you wait.
I think we all do.
You wait. He'll have a hangnail next start, and then he'll be going home.
You mentioned it. I couldn't be happier that he's not
I
pitching
know.
against the Dodgers, because that's going to turn into the what was his name? Big Maple.
James Paxton.
Remember
this is what Patrick Sandoval reminds me of. He's about as reliable as.
I don't need any of that happening.
One of my Empower staff. No.
Yeah,
did I say that out loud today? Sorry.
But yeah, no, that's all I got. Red Sox got to win tonight, and I need these bats to come alive before the 8th inning, because it's not been fun waiting until 12:30 to see the Red Sox get more than one hit in an inning.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff there from John. One of the things I want to comment on, you open it up. My last piece there was a little bit clouded towards one individual. Let me tell you something. For all the people that are respectful to me and my account and what I can provide and offer in terms of medical advice and information, I appreciate you guys being very, very humble and respectful and kind. The people that are out there that are the jackasses, let me explain something right now. I've read and evaluated thousands upon thousands of x-rays and MRIs in 26 years. I've treated thousands and thousands of cases of anything you can imagine, from neck, back, shoulder, knee, contusions, tendonitis. It goes on and on and on. When you see a wrist injury from a ball that he got hit with, my first tweet in 3 seconds was, see you next season, or out for the season, I think it was. Because it's going to require at least 6 to 8 weeks, even without surgery. And you're right at the end of the season. So for those jackasses, one guy's like, oh, why are you taking a victory lap over it? Not taking a victory lap, but for all the people that, are so disrespectful and just rude, sometimes there's people that know more than you do. And, when there are, try to find some solstice in it instead of being a jackwagon, because I'm more than happy to answer any questions to anybody on Twitter, about any of these injuries or what I think or whatnot. I'm happy to do so. But when you just tell me that you played Little League and you've seen your grandmother's uncle get hit by a ball and he was fine, I mean, stop. The Martinello Minute was brought to you by Breslow's Bad Trade Starter Kit. Want to run a Major League Baseball front office and don't have the time, patience, or basic judgment required? Pick up Breslow's Bad Trade Starter Kit. Each box includes one promising young pitcher to give away, one injured player with breakout potential, 3 anonymous executives telling reporters that it was going out on a limb. Breslow's Bad Trade Starter Kit, because why develop starting pitching when you can trade for another problem? And now it's time for the third strike.
And now it's time for the third strike with Thayer.
All right, 107 games into the season, and I finally get to talk about what happens on the field as opposed to all the nonsense that's going around the team. So I'm pleased that I at least get to do that. Let's sort of talk about the offense first. We've mentioned this a lot. This is a very sort of inexperienced team in some senses, and it's very inconsistent in others. The reason that we were incredibly hot during that 15-game winning streak is Contreras and Abreu were hitting the ball out of the building. They're stop doing that. And when you're not getting that power, what you get is guys, especially Contreras, he is trying to swing out of his shoes on every pitch, especially in this game, these games in Sacramento. So that's what I'm seeing there. They're no longer taking that positive approach of moving sort of gap to gap. They're trying to pull everything. So that's causing an issue. Also, what you're starting to see is guys are starting to get exposed. Now, yes, Jones is doing fantastically. Monasterio is having a fantastic offensive month, but we know that's going to end. We've all complained about all the platooning that was always done under Cora and the platooning that was sort of done at the when Chad Tracy started to come in. Why do we platoon players? We platoon players because they are not capable of producing on a day-to-day basis. So that's part of the issue. I know we can't stand Duran. We get upset with Duran, but Jones cannot play every day. And the only other option is you have to have Duran in there. So you have to mix and match those guys. Romy Gonzalez, I totally agree. He's not playing today, thankfully. Something has to get figured out with him. He came back too early. He's not ready. And Siegler is going to eventually start to fall off that cliff as well. We're starting to see it. He's going to have that issue. What really is bothering me the most, and John, you touched upon this a little bit, Bennett had a nice outing, but he faltered in the 7th inning. Tolley had a nice inning. He faltered. This now starts to fall on what exactly are we dealing with Chad Tracy? What kind of manager do we have? It's his responsibility to understand that you can't bring him out for the 7th inning. You cannot allow him to give up the 2-run bomb that puts your team down 3 when you can't score runs. The other aspect to this is a front-running team. What I mean by that is this team is not capable of coming back from major deficits. Heck, we saw it all season long. The minute they got down 3 runs, it was over until after the All-Star break. And 2 runs was definitely a death nail for most of the time as well. So this is a team that must play from ahead. We had a leadoff double yesterday, and the number 2 hitter hits a fly ball. You need to get the first run of the game. This team, we were talking about during that hot stretch, just how aggressive they could be. This team is only capable of being aggressive when they have a lead. They need to be able to get that lead. Monasterio hit the home run yesterday. It was a lucky thing. We were talking the other day just how great it was that they bunted the runner over to win that extra inning game. They're not doing that anymore. That has to get back to it. I understand when you're dealing with Weiser in the 10th inning as opposed to Whitlock, it's a little bit of a different sort of scenario. But at the same time, if you're not up that run, Weiser's going to lose you the game. I know you want to get that 2 runs to win it, but at least give Weiser a run to work with. They have to get back to moving those runners and doing what they can, because right now, offensively, the big bats are struggling, and we cannot afford to continue to do these things. We saw it yesterday. The Durbin gets a lot of credit for that base running, very intelligent base running, tagging up on that fly ball to right field. But again, why is Romy not in that baseball? Romy couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat right now. Yet they're allowing him in the 6th inning to swing the bat. I'm all for trying to give guys confidence, but that time is past. We are a team that is in contention. We're a team that we're talking, we've already seen the front office make a move. We give Breslow his credit for doing that. They're trying to improve this team. So now, enough with the confidence, enough with trying to build up that respect. It's time to start to play the game correctly. And Monasterio is not an everyday shortstop. For a team that is preaching pitching and defense, he cannot stay out there. I don't mind giving him a few innings here and there. He can start a game and come out of there, but he cannot be your everyday shortstop. That has to change. And if they don't do that, then they are not really considering winning this thing. And that is really starting to bother me.
I think the bigger problem with that is the fact that he's hitting really strongly right now. You have to keep his bat in that lineup somewhere. And because you are so devoid of offense, it forces you to have Yoshida in that lineup. It forces you to have Duran. It's all hands on deck offensively because you're scratching and clawing. I think if Monasterio was not hitting, he wouldn't be out there. So that's the problem, which once again just goes back to Thayer's original point on you got to score first and you got to hold very low leads, which kind of brings me to maybe we do need more bullpen help. It's amazing how we really miss Justin Wilson, don't we, from last year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Chris Murphy,
Very
too.
much so.
Yep. we really could use those
Thank
guys.
God for Tyrone Guerrero doing what he's doing right now.
I had no
Thank
faith
God.
in that guy. I had no faith in that guy.
I
He
laughed
figured
in
something out.
John's face.
All
and I
victory
made
lap
fun of
over
him,
that one.
And I said
think you
that you are
should.
out of your
And I'll take
heaven
the L.
loving mind for trusting a 35-year-old
I'll take
to
the L.
reinvent himself. John deserves a trophy for what he's seeing right now.
Yeah, I'll take the L on that because I said from the
Me
beginning
too.
this was a train wreck, and he has been a godsend for this bullpen. He really has. Just for the sake,
I was going to say real quick, I would actually entertain Monasterio for left field and bring Cheng back up and install him at short if Monasterio's production continues. I can't do Durant anymore. I can't do it. I can't.
Yeah. I think you need Cheng back on this team.
You absolutely do right now.
He's literally won you 2 games just defensively alone, and he's solid. So
They had a 13-1 record with him when he played.
And you know what? There's something to be said about these guys gelling together. So I would do it. We're just pressed on time because I want to end before the game starts to a point. So pitching probables, just to kind of go over quickly. Friday, we do face the Dodgers. It's a 10-10 start. Good grief. Ranger Suarez against Yamamoto. Saturday is a 9-10 start. Peyton Tully against Sheehan. And then Sunday is a 7:20 p.m. start on Peacock. Will be Jake Bennett, and I think it's a to be determined. Hopefully it's not Tarek Skubal, but who knows if it could be. Nick, really quickly, what's your predictions for this series?
I only see the Red Sox maybe winning 1 game, sadly. I haven't decided what it's going to be. Maybe the Bennett game, but is Bennett up against
to be determined, I think.
Okay. The second game is up against Yamamoto, correct?
First one's Yamamoto tonight.
Forget that. You can forget about it. That ain't going to happen. The Dodgers are men. The Red Sox are children. Let's just put it bluntly. It ain't going to be pretty this weekend. And if the Red Sox do happen to win 2 out of 3, something catastrophically wrong had to go wrong for the Dodgers. I'll just put it at that.
Yeah. Thayer?
I'm going to say 2 out of 3 because the Dodgers do not hit left-handed pitching as well as they hit right-handed pitching. They struggle with a lot of that. Just sort of the nature of where they're set up. Hernandez hasn't been all that great. Mookie's struggling a little bit. So they struggle against left-handed pitching. I completely agree. I think Yamamoto wins, but Suarez has an ability to step up in big games. He might be able to slam that door there. And the other thing is the Dodgers aren't playing out of their minds. They're 6-4. They've been playing sporadically. Their offense isn't running. It's not gelling as well as we think it is. Because they're playing a lot of these late games, you're not seeing a lot of it. Tucker's not doing very much.
No.
Smith is hurt. They have Ohtani and then Freeman, but Betts is sort of on a little bit of a slump. So, and their bullpen isn't all that fantastic either. It'll get there eventually, I'm sure. That's sort of how the Dodgers work. But right now, they're not the juggernaut that we think they are. And I think if the Red Sox pitch and play defense and do what we're supposed to be doing, the small ball, I think it's very possible they can take 2 out of 3, especially only seeing Yamamoto because DeSheehan's not all that much, and who knows what that third starter will be.
John?
Yeah, I'm going to – I hate it because my everything's telling me to go 1 out of 3, but I just like – honestly, I like the matchups that we have in this series. Obviously, as Thayer pointed out, the Dodgers haven't done a particularly great job hitting left-handed pitching this year. And then you're not really getting any of their thumpers. Obviously, Shohei isn't available right now with his he's dealing with a multitude of injuries. You're going to get Emmett Sheehan in one of these games. Obviously, you're going to see Yamamoto, who I'm not excited for that one, but you have Peyton Tully in that game. Bright lights, LA. Maybe we see that amped up version of him that we've seen in the past. That's going to give you 10 strikeouts. Maybe you steal one there. I'm going to go 2 out of 3 just to be optimistic about it, but I'm not particularly looking forward to seeing what could potentially happen in the series.
I'm going to go, it's kind of a cop-out. I'm going to go either 1 out of 3 or 2 out of 3. And I think I'm going to kind of piggyback off what Nick said. It's going to be a Dodgers loss, not a Red Sox win for that second game. I think they can win one of them, but a second one could go the Red Sox way if the Dodgers do something stupid, they give up extra outs, or something catastrophic happens. So I'm going to piggyback off Nick there a little bit. 1 or 2 out of 3. I don't think they get swept, nor do I think they sweep. So that's kind of a little bit of
you can also guarantee Kike, the most annoying person on the face of the earth, Hernandez, to do something to piss us all off.
Yeah.
Is he healthy?
I
right
could
now?
already see it. Yeah, he came back 2 days ago.
Did he?
Just real quick, just real quickly, I want just to kind of get through
freaking tool.
So
hello,
1,000 this year.
Just some comments.
Oh boy,
Betty. Hello to my 4 favorite hosts. Thank you very much. Michael says the injury luck on this team is ridiculous. It really is. They're always bitten by the injury bug. Get Chang back at shortstop, says Jules.
Yes,
totally agree. 130% on that. Hello, how y'all are? We're doing good tonight. Betty says I love Chang, but for a skilled shortstop who can hit, it would give it all up. You know, if we can acquire somebody, that's fine. I'm still in on Abrams. I know his defense isn't the best, but that guy is on a 40 home run pace. Mark says, Jules says, will Abrams duplicate this year and play next year and the year after? I mean, why not? He's still, 24, 25 years old? I mean, he's still a young dude. I mean, his best years are in front of him. I think if you could get either him or, God forbid, you could get somebody like Bobby Witt, you give up whatever you can. But he's full throttle, of course. That's the anemic word of Tom Werner.
Oh, Red Sox. Go.
Yeah. Sox have been playing sloppy baseball this series. They certainly have. This is one of the things. They've been the defensive gem for most of the series. They can't afford to play sloppy and give up extra outs. Our bats have been MIA. That's absolutely true. This is what worries me, Jules, because, listen, you know, they're in that 15-game stretch, like Thayer said. You know, they had the offensive numbers. They don't have it now, and I'm concerned that they're going to revert to the pumpkin of the first 75 games. Got Kurtz out at the game. Yep. Romy, my homie, is a mess. He certainly is. He's not the guy that he once was. And, I mean, let's face it. You know, like Thayer said earlier, you know, backup guys are backup guys. You know, it's just he was good for a while, but everybody has a shelf life, unfortunately. Romy needs AAA for more weeks. I think that would help. Is Jumaane Jones the new Rob Refsnyder? That's what was talked about earlier by Nick. I think it's a really good point. You have to be very pleased with what you've seen from him. He won't make it through the year. Play him over Duran. Not a bad idea.
Yes,
Seti has been the best. I mean, next to Wilson Contreras, he's been a pretty well-rounded player all season. Wilson trying to homer every swing. Yeah, he's trying a little too hard. The other thing, too, if you look at his history, he's kind of been a first-half player. He does kind of fade in the second half. So, you know, these things that we thought he was going to maybe hit 35 or 40 home runs, I don't know if he's even going to hit 30 at this point.
Did you see what he did Tuesday night with the whole thing with the dugout cheering? And he looked at it, he goes, "Don't you clap at me." He snapped at him. I thought that was hysterical.
I thought it was funny.
I was waiting for him to run over, bam them all.
I mean, just keep your eyes peeled on Wilson Contreras and see if those power production numbers go down, because it's just kind of his track record. Middle pen needs help, definitely. Like we said earlier, Jules, Justin Wilson, I wish he was still here. Paxton was very bad. You know, James Paxton. Doyle, my third Doyle. You know, okay, Contreras looks tired. He needs a break. I don't know if we have time to have him have a break. That's the problem. We'll see how it goes. I believe Mead would provide some stability to that lineup, but losing really hurts the team. Listen, I don't mind getting guys like this. If he's going to be a 7th or 8th hitter, that's fine, but he wasn't going to be enough regardless of his injury. And now what's going to happen? Are they going to just kind of like put their tail between their legs for the rest of this, little stretch here for the trade deadline? I have no idea, but we'll see how it goes. That's about all the time we have for comments today. Any last-minute thoughts before we wrap up, guys?
We'll know very shortly on which version of Sonny Gray we get. Should be pretty quick.
Yeah, exactly. If you haven't had a chance to go to our website, please do so. It's at redsoxdigest.com. You can get daily articles with all the rants, ravings, and sarcasm and saltiness that I can put into those articles every day, straight to your email inbox. You can also donate to the cause. $100 bills minimum is what's appreciated. Please make sure that you visit your local Empower. That's all I've got for tonight.
Yes.
Let's start the game. It's going to start any minute now. Thanks for everybody for being on. I'd like to thank John, Nick, and Thayer for being with us tonight. Go Red Sox, and we will see you Monday night. Have a good night. Unless some breaking news happens, we'll fix it.